Alright, everyone. Welcome back. I am Player Felix, and welcome to another section of Planet Zoo. Well, not really welcome back, I just said that randomly. But welcome to Planet Zoo. You know what this basically is another Frontier 1 game where you build your own zoo. And it makes it busy playing before Planet Zoo 2 launches. So, well, not really, I just wanted to since I was going nuts with goddamn Planet Coaster 2. Decided to do this because I did ask, and I want to do this. Yep. I have also did some things in the past. That's much it. But I got stuff away. I got some stuff to do. My career, so we're starting fresh again. At least try to. At least been a while. Start anew. Medium, yep. We're starting new? Fresh around, let's get to it. Been a while. I vaguely remember what to do.
Heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpet. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you into the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Let's see if we can give us a backpack there.
From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals. We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Well, I mean, P is pause. That's pretty freaking work. At least it tells you. It tells you what it did before. So basically, adopt 2 places to come and locate animal traits. It's basically the same thing as Planet Coaster. Just gotta change some shit around. Our graphics side of things, like, is very a bit low. Water reflections are very uninteresting. I like how this one is much more quieter than the goddamn Planet Coaster. What are you doing, me? We need to go right out of reflections for Christ's sake. Screen splash, base splash, just put on. Geometry, let's put it back to play. Weather effects were on high, so I think we're fine. They can put DLS on, but I think that's not even available on here yet. Okay. I got the mouse controls done. It's the keyboards I need to change. I understand why you had to change space for that. It's much better playing space. Oh, is there stuff I don't want to muck around? Is I probably won't even use shortcut.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel. This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives.
Alright.
But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel? See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
One thing I'm quite excited for to Planet Zoo 2 aquariums, but also add more animals is actually quite exciting. Right, we need to find get up there. Well, actually, because I like to see that.
Panthera leo leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome, which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Alright, time for a new one. I have to refurbish it now. Alright.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section. There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants. When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade center, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home? When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade center, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade center's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action. Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat. But I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier. where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl. Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare. Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
There's the hippopotamuses. By my side.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner. Ah, that's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
You would think so. You would think that.
Right. Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Not as bad, but still, it's still clanky.
Good work. Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in. There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them. By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
All do. You would think be something else with this. You would think.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals. You'll need to rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path. This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we? Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off. Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away. Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And concrete and glass, I expect. So, go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier. Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
You don't say. It's not that bad, it's still a bit its own thing. I do like the drawing tool, that was nice. Though again, this is probably will be added in the Planet Zoo 2 anyways.
takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool. Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least 3.7 meters. Now that the habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get. Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch.
Put it layer, there, and there. Diddly-do. Diddly-do.
Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
Alright, trade on. It'll cost you that much for to make these things. Oosh.
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them. This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool. Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat? Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat, so they can hide from the guests, or more likely, the bad weather. Although, given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
Part of me doesn't like this. It's very irritating. Here he is.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel. Rightio. Click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat. Okay then, open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare. Right then. All animals need plants and trees from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, Eurasia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get a perfect fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab. Now, as you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want. You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
And the temperate. Alrighty.
They say that good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave, even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
Right, let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Now
then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open our information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese. Expand their social welfare and we can get a bit more detail. Now, they've clearly got plenty of space and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong. Right, as you can see, the peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Off you pop to the animal market then. Good work on those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
Getting back around with this one. This thing's not that bad. I'm doing well. I just still like how I don't like it. But hey. It's fine. Where's the snow leopard? Over there.
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests. Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat.
That's the power stuff. Let's move on.
As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered. You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them. It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopards' terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen. Now then, all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
Oh, we got
As you can see, this list shows you the animal's overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Alright. There's a heater. I think these guys are fine. I just need to shut this. Part of me thinks I prefer the old ones. There's the advanced movement. I was wondering where you fucking are. Oh, I get the enrichment stuff. Tortoise. Okay. A rubber ducky. We just need more habitat. You like probably need more than that or something. Let's scrap that. There we go. I think now it should be fine. Let's see. Increase the welfare of the species overall by 90. Right. Oh, that's bitchy. Elephants need enrichment. For the African savannah. Needs to increase the terrain, more shelter. I need to increase the terrain. Increase the terrain first, probably. You need long grass than soil. I need to build another shelter. Holy beholders. That's a big shelter. What else before we do that? Fuck around with that. I'd rather not. Oh, that's it too. The zebras want something here. Terrain and plants. They want more, they want short and grass. They want short and less soil. You can be careful not to muck with them, so. They're fine with what they got, so they're okay. Well, it's the zebras, and we'll see them after. You want more enrichment stuff? All right, you whiny bastards. Plain zebra. There we go.
Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with...
Life career. That's redone. Now I gotta redo this one. We're going through for all this. Questionable, but hey. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Welcome to Madagascar. It's quite the change of scenery from dreary old England, huh? Apart from the weather, I suppose. They don't call these places rainforests for nothing.
Right.
The zoo you'll be working in is an ape sanctuary, where we're doing vitally important conservation work. Not just for apes, but for all kinds of species. But apes, well, apes are some of the closest relatives to humans there are. And yet, the way the world treats them is like, well, very much like some of us treat our actual relatives. Anyway, that's why I'm determined that our operation here does some good. If we can all leave some part of the world in a better state than we found it, we'll have lived lives worth living. And speaking of states, I have a horrible feeling I left the house in the right one. When I get back, I expect my life won't be worth living at all.
What do you think of Madagascar then? Bit warm for my taste, to be honest.
Cosmic cow.
Anyway, this is Bernie's Primate Sanctuary. It's not just primates though. We've got all sorts of animals. So why don't we go and have a look at some of them, eh? We'll start by taking a look at the red-ruffed lemurs. They're the ones that look like they should be in a Shakespeare play. Come on,
Sure.
let's head over to them.
Lemurs. Also, we could do much more quick with this one. I doubt it, since we're gonna do with unwanted.
Red-ruffed lemurs are found in the rainforests of Masoala. That's in northeast Madagascar. They can actually live anywhere from 15 up to 25 years. Fancy that, eh? Okay, when you're ready, let's go find our Bornean orangutans.
Orangutan.
The Bornean orangutan is such a marvellous creature. They're always a big favourite at any zoo they feature in, and they're also the biggest tree-dwelling animal on the planet. Assuming you don't count any lions that got stuck up one. Oh, why don't you take a better look at them? Open up their information panel and go into the animal camera. Aren't they just incredible? When you're ready, let's go and have a look-see at some of our beautiful bonobos. They're quite the characters.
Bonobos.
Oh dear! It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has collapsed. And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too. Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel. Good. Now open the animals tab.
Mm-hmm.
And click on Box All Animals to box up the remaining bonobos. Now, we'll need a vet to recapture that escaped bonobo, but it seems our last one left to do some research in the wild. Not an ideal situation. So, we'll need to hire a replacement sharpish. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area. You can find all of your staff in here, but there's no time to go looking at their particulars at the moment. Hire a vet. Now, click on one of the paths to place the vet in your zoo. Great. Now let's deal with our escapee before they can cause too much havoc. Use the animal alerts to jump to the escaped bonobo. Okay, that's a relief. So while the vet deals with our bonobo friend, let's go fix up their habitat so they can't escape again. Head back over there. As you can see, the barrier's collapsed. Someone's taken their eye off the ball, obviously. Let's get this one replaced. Select the barrier and then we'll edit it. Delete the broken section of barrier and replace it with a brand spanking new one. Good. Now that we've done that, we need to make sure to add climb-proof barriers to the top. That way the bonobos won't be able to climb out. Just make sure you've got the correct piece of barrier selected when you do that. Okay, so go into the options section and select which side the climb-proof barrier needs to go on. And don't get it wrong. We're more worried about bonobos climbing out than guests climbing in. Nicely done. And I think it's high time we unbox those bonobos, wouldn't you say? The poor mites will get sad if we leave them in there for too long. Select the habitat barrier to bring up the habitat information panel again. And then open the Animals tab. And finally, click on Unbox All Animals to let them out. I expect some of them are fair bursting for the toilet. So, it turns out that as well as the old vet leaving, the zoo's mechanics did too. We'll need to hire a couple of new ones so we can help stop any more breakouts. You see, mechanics do all sorts of helpful things around the zoo, but one of their most important jobs is taking care of the habitat barriers. Without mechanics around to repair them, the barriers will crack, crumble and fall down. And before you know it, we'll be overrun with escaped animals. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area again. Oh, gosh, we have been busy, haven't we? Good work there. I'm off for a cuppa. Oh, I think Bernie wants a word with you.
This could be interesting knowing me.
Oh, I hear you had a bit of an issue with an escaped bonobo. The main thing is that you dealt with it swiftly, and more importantly, without the animals stealing someone's clothes, putting them on, and then walking out of the front gate.
You see, another key responsibility for our vets is animal research. Researching animals allows vets to unlock new enrichment items, additional information for our education resources, enhanced breeding programs, and improvements to food quality. The animals' food, not the vets. It'll take more than a research grant to improve the staff canteen. Anyway, as you can see, research is a key part of running your zoo. In order for a vet to undertake research, they require a research centre. And once again, that's something that this zoo is missing. So let's build one. I've marked out an area for you to put it. Now, you've probably noticed that there's already a building where I want you to build the research centre. Don't worry. You see, the building that's currently there is actually a hollow shell, so we're able to place our new building inside of it. If you select the research centre for placement and then hover over the shell, you'll see that it asks if you want to add the research centre to the existing building. Okay, click to add it to the building. Oh, but that won't place it in just yet, though. First, we'll need to rotate our research centre so it automatically connects to the path when we place it. Right, splendid work. Now that we have a brand spanking new research centre, we can give our vets something to do in there. Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that the vets will only do research when they're not required to do any other jobs. That said, you can change what jobs a vet does via their information panel. But let's not worry about that just now. So, let's get our vet researching ring-tailed lemurs. Go into the zoo section and select vet research. Here, you can see a list of all the animals present in your zoo, and also all the potential diseases that can occur. Now, drag and drop your vet onto the ring-tailed lemur to start their research. Actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure we've got any education boards or speakers by the lemur's habitat. Let's head over there and add some, so our guests can learn all about the furry little delights.
Over there.
First off, let's pop down 2 education boards. Place them on the habitat barriers at a height that guests can see, or, if you like, pop them down on a stand. that they've been put into position, we have to tell them what animal to display information about. Select one of the education boards to bring up its information panel. And from the drop-down list, select ring-tailed lemur. Although I'm sure that last part was obvious. When you link an education board or a speaker to an animal, you need to make sure that said animal is close by. If it isn't, the guests will get confused and won't learn as much. Okay, now that we've done the education boards, let's pop down a pair of speakers. Speakers play audio to the guests so they can learn while they look at the animals, instead of having to go through the laborious process of reading. Oh, one thing to bear in mind is that it's important not to put the speakers too close together. If you do, the guests won't be able to understand what's being said. Now we simply need to link the speakers to the ring-tailed lemurs, just like you did with the education boards. Fantastic! Oh, it's worth remembering that education boards and speakers both need power to work. They won't do much good without it. Oh, it looks as though our vet has completed their research on ring-tailed lemurs. We'll need to collect the results. We can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into the vet research area. Go on, collect your research rewards. Just so you know, vets will continue to research an animal even after successfully completing a research level. I suppose when you're in the zone, you're in the zone. Well, now that we've enriched the lives of our guests, let's enrich the lives of our ring-tailed lemurs. Some animals, like lemurs, will have a climbing need. That means they have a requirement for a certain amount of climbing space, and you can fulfill that requirement by building them a climbing frame. Let's find out how much more climbing space our lemur friends need, shall we? Select one of them and bring up their information panel. Next, click on the Terrain tab. Now, as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch. By the way, it's not always just climbing needs that you have to worry about. Other animals might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on our toes. Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though? Nicer food. But that's true of all of us, though, isn't it? You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat. Lovely. Now select the Animals tab. There we go. As you can see, we can set the food quality in here. Just click on the drop-down menu and select Grade 2 Food Quality. Grade 2 Food Quality. My mouth's already watering. So, a new climbing frame and better food. Oh, you've really spoilt those lemurs rotten. Now, I think it's time we looked at one of the zoo's most important responsibilities. Releasing animals into the wild. You see, when we feel an animal is ready, we can release them into the wild. But what makes an animal a good candidate for release? Well, their age is an important factor. I mean, we can't release an animal that's a juvenile, just as we can't release one that's gotten too old. They'll also need to be fertile. After all, the idea is to repopulate the wild, so the best candidates will have a high fertility gene. And together, the age and fertility of a candidate will determine how many conservation credits will be rewarded when we release them. Now, conservation credits are vitally important. They're the lifeblood of your zoo, because earning them allows you to adopt even more animals. And what's more, the animals you can adopt will be of a higher quality. So, with that in mind, let's pop over to our orangutan habitat. Okay, I'd like you to find Agang, the Bornean orangutan in the habitat, and select him, please. You can either click through each orangutan in turn, or select the habitat barrier, go to the animals tab in the habitat information panel, and find him in the animals list. I know it's sad to see him go, but he'll be happy out in the wild. And he's a wonderful candidate for release. Young, strong, and fertile. Excellent work there. You've definitely got potential, you know.
Alright.
Ah, I see you've been doing some homework. Although, it hardly seems like work when you're learning about something as adorable as a ring-tailed lemur. I imagine I'd have got much better grades at school if there'd been less algebra and more aldebra. Tortoises.
Okay, so far we've done a lot of work with
All
habitat
right.
animals, but now it's time to learn all about exhibit animals. Let's build a brand new exhibit. I've marked an area for our new exhibit. How about we head over there? Lovely. Now let's build a new exhibit in the gap that's been left. Just add it to the building like we did with the research center earlier, then pop it into the gap. Perfect. The next thing to do is adopt an exhibit animal to go in there. How about a Gila monster? Open up the exhibit trading section and adopt one. Just as we do with habitat animals, we need to send the Gila monster to the exhibit. Click on the exhibit to send it there. When you send an animal to an exhibit, it'll automatically be given the correct setup. But that doesn't mean it's completely ready for them. So let's finish it off. We'll start by adding some enrichment items. Click on the exhibit to bring up its information panel. Good. Now click on the layout tab. Oh, well, it looks like we've only got the enrichment level 1 items unlocked at the moment. Never mind, let's turn on at least one of them for the Gila monster. As I'm sure you know by now, you can unlock more enrichment levels by having one of your vets do some research. Now we'll also need to set the temperature and humidity in the exhibit. These are vitally important for keeping our Gila monster happy and comfortable. Click on the Climate tab. Here, you can see the Gila monster's desired temperature and humidity. You can change both of these by adjusting the dials below. Make sure it's going to be nice and cozy. That's the ticket. And the last thing we need to look at is setting up the different windows. So click on the Windows tab. You can edit and customize any of the windows on an exhibit. A window can be closed and blank, or have a 2-dimensional background, or even a 3-dimensional background on it. Why don't you have a play around with the options? There's also an exhibit education board. Pop them down near your exhibits to teach your guests about them. Let's add one now. Just like the education boards and speakers we put down for the ring-tailed lemurs, you'll need to link these to the Gila monster. Go on.
Nope. At least that sounded like that.
Lovely stuff. Now our guests can learn all about our venomous friend here. Right, now, I've got a bit of a big job for you. I need you to increase the number of species in the zoo.
Okay.
You'll probably want to adopt both habitat and exhibit animals to do so, which will mean building plenty of new habitats and exhibits for them. Go on, off you pop. I'll check in with you when you're almost done.
Which you get 12 of them, which is fine. Prefer to have much more adults here. Okay. It needs, how more? 2 more of those. Bonobo. The keyboard. Rubber ducky. It's doing much more better this time around-ish, but again, I'm still trying not to, so. Ringtails are fine. Mostly the red tail ones are mildly low. Along with those, so we need to go to here. And we'll need to increase our stuff with ringtail, red ruffle. The panda. Red ruffle lemur. Guess the monkey's playing with the thing now. I think that's clan welfare. Besides nutrition, that's one thing. I'll worry about that later. I think we found we're just gonna add the species. Okay. So I think we're all set with that. It's just a matter of finding which one is happier. Hippopotamuses need more social. Hey, let's go get the hippopotamuses. Some more mates, yeah. Or is it pay conversion resources to get one? Ugh. For have water, higher water. At least these guys are happy with some more socialing. Probably way too much on this space right there. Bugger. That looks like that's gonna hurt me there. Okay, so you said you want more social. Is he more social life? Outside of gender ratio, there's two dominant males here. Oh. Right, okay, we want to fix that. We have... I erased it. I mean... send it to the Star Trade Center. sadly, days ago. Guess the hippopotamus are a little thing there, but a little bit too tight right, huh? However, if it's a social, it's any more space and. Two males and two females, so. Welfare is 80 and it needs to be like habitat correctly. Increase the average habitat species overall to 90. Well, overall, yeah, we need to get rid of that. Why can't we do it? We gotta get rid of one of them, sadly. Okay. You must need another female gun though. Let's see how that goes, but I know the hippos are a bit mad. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get down. Alright, let's get more species going. At least 12 species in the zoo. Maybe staying fresh over here. What's that say? Shop. Maybe I can add that there. Watch some snails. Watch some snails. Two more to find, two more to go around. Because I know I can build more over here. I'll eventually get rid of a hippo. Let's see if there are any spots I can use. I could use this spot, I mean, no one could. I see. Let's see if there's any particular ones that are open so I can use. Had this issue before. Yeah, I must see all them of those anyways, so I guess besides building entirely new things, we gotta get more species to go to that. Just a memento. Because we have that lizard, I don't have the spider. I can probably use that to use that, maybe. Try building one thing and I failed miserably. I think we'll use this one. Well, I really can't because they're connected. If I get rid of it, I would. We'll get rid of that guy. Because then we can use that for that. Yep, look at that. Though it makes stupid sense, but hey, I'm busy going through what I can here. Get the snipe, we got that guy, we got the frog. Get the froggy foggy. We need down to 90. We're just trying to find the frog. But it's very good for business. Let's go to research. Once we get those layouts, we need to increase the layout though. Yeah, wait till that happens. I can do windows though. Let's see. No. Nah. Must be very hot here. Let's see. I'll have to wait to get into that. Once we get that fucker done, now we can at least get the welfare done. Very good. It's increasing the odds over here though anyways. down now. When are you gonna do that, boy? Just took a little spot for there and she's using that as a banish. Doesn't make any sense. It works fine. Maybe we get that done with it. Just gotta wait to get the research for the frog. Everything's gonna get in our vet for it. Get stuff in our vet. Why? Because I just want to get that done with. There you go. That's what we want. So, boop, boop, boop. Okay, so that's another species done. We need one more species. I think it's all the exhibits ammo. I think it's all. Besides snails, monster, frogs. Yeah, I think we're all caught up with those. So I gotta build another, add another thing into the mix. Or build things separately entirely before we get rid of one of the hooks. Maybe at least end of that, at least. Tapibara. Yeah, I could do a Tapibara. We're going to build for the Tapibara. So it's a classic one, not like the old Atlantic Planet Coaster 2 right now, which is fine. I increased the lift by that one around, huh? We'll take these guys out anyways. Is that oh, not Tapibara. That's mechanics. Tasmanian Devil. You gotta hike all those guys over there.
My, you have been busy, haven't you? Splendid. But now that you've...
No, that's done. Now we're all caught up finally. It's only 8, so let's see if I do more. So we got that down, we got the tutorial next. But overall, we got a while. So we start new into the Panda Park. This is basically new, and we'll begin everything from here. Asia.
Ah, pandas. They're my daughter's favorite animal. I think it's fair to say that if ever there was an animal which has captured the public's imagination, it's pandas. Well, that's assuming you ignore cats and dogs, obviously. It'll take more than a cute bear to knock them off of the top spot. Oh, but did you know, thanks to the incredible conservation work that's being done in China and around the world, pandas are no longer endangered. Amazing! That said, they're still considered vulnerable. So, this zoo is extraordinarily lucky and honored to be part of that conservation effort. It really speaks to our reputation, a reputation that you're going to be in charge of maintaining, along with all the general maintaining too. I really can't tell you how important the welfare of those pandas is. Oh wait, I can. It is vitally important. The eyes of the world are on you, my friend. Although, perhaps more pressingly, the eyes of Nancy are on you too.
Welcome to China. This is Bernie's brand new Panda Celebration Zoo. So new, in fact, that it's not quite finished. But we'll deal with that later. First, let's take a tour of the zoo.
Red panda. Weird.
Obviously, the giant pandas are the main attraction for this zoo, and luckily for us, we have one which was born just a few days ago. Let's go and have a look at it.
Panda.
Go on, don't be shy. Select the panda cub.
Where? Oh, there you are. There you are.
And click on the camera to enter animal camera mode. Oh, doesn't it just warm the cockles of your heart? So cute! Did you know that giant pandas, or Ailuropoda melaleuca if we're being formal, are the only entirely herbivorous bears? They can actually eat up to 38 kilos of bamboo a day. Not that surprising, given that they'll spend up to 14 hours a day chomping away. I don't imagine this little fluff ball has that kind of appetite yet, though. Oh no. I just got word from one of our keepers that a sable antelope was placed into a habitat without going through quarantine first, and that they're displaying signs of disease. We'll have to move them into quarantine to stop the infection from spreading to the other animals. To do that, go to the highlighted habitat, find the infected animal, and then select them to bring up their information panel. Good. Now click move and then transfer them into quarantine. I've highlighted the quarantine facility in the zoo for you.
Is that the only one? It is the only one. Apparently it's the only one. Okay. What do you want me to do? Quarantine to 6 able. Right. Hurry up, you bugger. Hello. Trying to figure out, get this figured out how to work with this one well. Oh. Guess we're going this way around. Now where is that antelope thing? Yeah. There you are.
Oh, phew. That's a
The
relief.
Bordelois.
Now that we've stopped the infection from spreading any further, we need to build a vet surgery so the antelope can be treated and then returned to his habitat.
Okay.
I've already highlighted where I'd like you to build it, so why don't we head over there?
Not really big.
In
It's
order to
just
build the vet
starting a
surgery,
career.
Click on facilities,
Panda career one,
staff
so,
facilities,
panda
and
career.
then vet surgeries.
Yep. First prefer to go damn Planet 2 coasters controls right now. But you gotta be bigger speed choosers. So that's what you get here. Come on. You rat bastard. There's that. Yep, I go. Come on, you rat. When in doubt, spam it. Come on. You fuck. I want to snap here, but it's outside of the placement. Okay. There's a solid color area. Why you gotta be this freaking different? There you are. Gives making a modification. Huh. Got it. Horribly, but I got it.
That's the job. Vet surgeries play a very important role in a zoo, as they're the only places that vets can treat the animals. Once there's room for the antelope, the vet will pick them up from quarantine and bring them to the surgery. Yes, diseases can spread through a habitat quite easily.
Yeah, basically.
Especially if the water inside it isn't being cleaned regularly.
Yeah, boy.
As it happens, I just got a report that one of our water treatment facilities has broken down, and the water in the flamingo and saltwater crocodile habitats has gotten dirty. I've highlighted the water treatment facility for you, so you should go and check it out. Click on the water treatment facility to bring up its information panel. Yes, I don't think you need a degree in mechanics to tell that this thing's thoroughly banjaxed. Click Call Mechanic to get them to come over and fix it for us. So, just to explain, water treatment facilities work in a similar manner to power sources, in that they have a radius of influence around them. That means any body of water which is even partly within that radius will be cleaned automatically. Also, like power sources, if they get damaged, that radius of influence will shrink, meaning that it might stop cleaning water sources which were only just within its reach. If you want to check how much of your zoo is covered by your water treatment facilities, then there's a heat map you can use to see the coverage. That way, you can quickly spot problem areas and rectify the issue. Good work. Now that the water treatment facility has been repaired, the water will be cleaned up in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. You can also use mechanics to repair power facilities, transport rides, bins, benches, signs, and, as you already know, habitat barriers. Now, I'll be honest, I'm still a little worried about that disease scare we had, so I think we should do some research into it. Doing research into a disease can help prevent future outbreaks of it. And even if we do have an outbreak, it'll make the disease much less potent. I'd like you to start some research into bordetellosis. Disease research can be found in vet research, so head over to your research centre and get one of the vets researching it. Lovely job. Once that research is complete, I expect we'll send that disease packing in no time.
Interesting names. Interesting names here.
Whew! That was a close-run thing with those antelopes. I dread to
looks
think
like
what might have
Rhino.
happened if you hadn't got them into quarantine as quickly as you did. Fast thinking there. We had a horrible outbreak of viral gastroenteritis here at Goodwin House. Although, luckily, that was just limited to me and my wife.
Good one, Bernie.
Right. Now that we've got all our urgent tasks in hand, we
Bronze
can start to focus
now
on the guests and improving their time in
Just
the park.
researching Memento.
You see, you can also
Wow.
do research into new and improved guest facilities,
Oh, that's right. Needs to
transport
change
rides, as
from
well as new
that.
types
Jesus
of barrier
Christ.
and other things via the workshop. I've highlighted the workshop for you, so head over there, select it, and then click on View Workshop. And finally, assign a mechanic to research souvenir shops by dragging and dropping them onto it. I can't wait to see what they come up with.
I wonder why they got rid of this when playing Coaster 2. Or I did not. I always know this was a thing. Anywho. Completed classical Arctic Australia conservations barriers drinks. Unless I didn't realize they have this stuff in but no, I looked up Planet Coaster 2 for it. Oh, they don't have the unless they do, I just don't realize it. Yeah. Solar panels and a wind turbine. Ironic. Anyhow, where's the other staff facilities? Probably large. Keep rat now. Souvenir shop's dumbass.
Great stuff. That research will take a little while, so let's have a look at something else in the meantime. Because we've had some good news. It turns out that we're allowed to adopt more giant pandas. The authorities have given us 3 females to help with our breeding program. Even so, I'm sure you know how notoriously difficult it is to get pandas to breed, so we'll have to be patient. Our current giant panda habitat is full to the brim, but luckily we've already got another habitat ready to go. But before we move our new pandas in, they'll need to go through quarantine. Of course, we can't do that until we've accepted them. So open up animal trading and go into the animal reward section. Just click transfer to animal storage next to each of the pandas, and then they'll be sent there. Finally, we can send them from animal storage to quarantine. To do that, just select them in animal storage, then click send to zoo, and then click on the quarantine facility in the zoo. Don't worry, I've highlighted it for you so you can find it easily. while we wait for them to clear quarantine, you should set up their new habitat so they feel at home in there. I'll also need you to bring over one of the male pandas from our other habitat, because without him, we're not going to have much of a breeding program, are we? So go on, move him over and get everything set up for your pandas.
That must be him right there. No, it's female. There you are. It's over here. Alright, gotta do the giant panda. Right. Giant panda. At least they gave us the freaking housing right away. Oh, okay, so they go by voice. Okay. Firehouse ball. Where did I wait for that freaking guy to get over here? Freaking bastard. And plants. Oh, see, something actually coming along there.
news. Our new female pandas have been given a clean bill of health. You'd best move them into the new habitat so they can settle in. And I hope you've made their habitat as comfy as possible, because animals will only breed if they're happy.
Mm-hmm. Of course you don't want to move.
Well, that ain't gonna happen. Because you know how that goes. They'll say it, and then we won't bring it, and it'll rain.
Oh,
Weird.
bless. I think they'll be really
Weird.
happy in there. Fingers crossed we'll see some lovely new cubs sooner rather than later. Right. While they're being delivered, we'd better get on with something else. Oh, dear me. There's never any time to rest when you're running a zoo, is there? Well, unless you hit the pause button. Okay, I think it's time I taught you all about work zones. I know,
Okay.
they don't sound as interesting as the animals, but trust me, they're ever so useful. You see, work zones are a way of making sure that your staff concentrate on specific habitats or tasks within the zoo, so they aren't wandering off elsewhere when it's time to feed the animals or the like. So let's start by creating a new work zone, and then assigning a keeper to it so that they know to look after the new pandas. To do that, go into the zoo section, then click on staff, and then work zones. Now, click on New Work Zone. To set up your new work zone, I'll need you to select the highlighted habitat gate, staff room, and keeper hut. Oh, and don't forget to name it something useful. Once you're done, just go ahead and exit the work zone creator.
Oh, just name it Japanese.
Now let's hire a new keeper and assign them to our new work zone. We don't want them getting distracted by other goings-on in the zoo. Go on, hire one.
Right.
What are you doing? You leave all the fans on?
We're not turning the trim off yet.
That's why you have the lights on, though? No, I just turned it on. You turned it off. And my wine cooler's still here.
Then, click on your new keeper to bring up their information panel and go to their employment tab. There you go. Now your keeper will focus his attention on our new pandas. Oh, and just so you know, all types of staff can be assigned work zones. Just make sure that they have access to all the buildings that they need. And one last thing. You might find it faster to assign them from the Work Zones tab in the Staff section of Zoo Management. That'll save you having to chase around selecting your staff one by one. Oh, it sounds like the brand research has been completed. You should collect your rewards. And you can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into mechanic research.
Alright.
Now that we've got our lovely new Just a Memento shop designed, you should build one of them near the zoo's exit. That way the guests won't miss it on their way out and we won't miss out on their money.
I want to take a. How much soda we have no soda in the house at all.
And then all your coat.
Mm-hmm. I gotta do that probably.
Oh, that's ever so wonderful, that is. Anyway, I'm just off for a moment, but I'm sure I'll have some more jobs for you to look at shortly.
Patronise.
Aw, those pandas look just adorable.
Alrighty.
I can see why people keep foolishly forgetting that they're wild bears. And
Oh, boy.
good work on that new gift shop branding. Just a memento. Very clever. Much better than our old overpriced gifts branding. I'm all for truth in advertising, but it was perhaps a little on the nose.
Back as promised. Right. I'd like you to increase the number of different species in the zoo.
Alright.
Now, you can find out what species are already in your zoo by going into the zoo section and then into the animals area. And if you're wondering how you're going to fit them all in, then mixed species habitats are a great way to save space and create interesting habitats. Just make sure to check the Zoopedia to find out which species enjoy living together. E.g., don't mix lions with antelopes.
Energy. What even is that? Is that supposed to be rest or something like that? Zoo was okay. Zoo was great, but you'll bitch a bit. There's like not enough benches. Ow. Any balloons? Oh boy. Bring some ATMs from here. No. Besides energy, I don't understand that. Yeah, let's see how that works. You form more species, improve the zoo guests, and receive an inspection.
Ellie!
Okay. One at a time, one at a time. Okay. I think we're gonna increase our sheltering on here. We're going to flamingo. We're gonna roll with that. At least our welfare is done for that one. Let's work on these. It's the red panda. fine with 2. It just needs more toy enrichment and nutrition. Hmm. Hmm. We'll work with that. I just want to get these guys things done before we get to the next pandas. No. That one's just gonna be a mix because he's just having severe social issues. That's not gonna be easy to fix with that without getting more. Maybe. Oh, what the hell I'm looking at? You and her female. They'd be fine. We got happy barrows, am I? Oh, that's there. What's Alpaca doing over here? Huh? Okay. roll with that. We'll roll with that. I say social, but that's just expected. Besides, I think we're all set with that. It's just marry game or interspecies stuff now, I think. Alright. Now Rebecca's a male though, we a female. These are all freaking males. Just realizing that. Yep, and our female. Adult population's very mild as we get going. We need more species. I'm busy deciding what to do. I think I get some interesting with this species though, so. Mm-hmm. These social groups are very small. Well, actually, they're fine with what they are. Except for theirs. Peak. cook. You get along with a capybara, or a gray anther, or the capuchin. Capybara. You get along with a capybara. I wonder if we sent these guys in here. Kill a big sheep horn and a bison. I think the antelopes can get along with each other. I think these would be fine. So that's the only thing issue right now is that. So for to get one, but I gotta deal with it. What is it? We have a female. Besides being social, there's not even a problem with this guy, just being social. Until we get her a female, I really can't do much about this guy. Well, the welfare is not ideal. He wants fees enrichments. What's going on with you? Doesn't care about that. Wants to just want some enrichments. Okay. This guy just needs another guy and another female. But we can't get it because of a common born. And some wolves, which I think are just nuts. type of battle on there using equals. If we look at these goddamn agar. Doesn't really get along with sure. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Uh-huh. Those guys are extinct, I say. Saltwater crocodile. I think these guys won't get along with each other. Oh, I said 2 females. Whoopsies. I need a male. You'll take the... Well, I mean, I think like pushing it though. I think I'll be pushing that though. I mean, it won't be as bad, but I think I'll be pushing them though. That might be a mistake. Let's see. I see these guys do it get piss off. Too many animals to be for the social group. Too many adults. I figured that was gonna happen. No, you'll be gone. It's not because I'm questioning him, it's outside the gender ratio. Well, duh, because he's a fucking isolated bastard. They don't get along, don't they? There's 2 genders and 1 female. Young adult, young adult. Everything male dominant, so yeah. These still be brawling. These guys will be brawling for a while. They're fine with what they are. These are fine what they are. It's the other crocodiles. Okay, I'm looking about the fucking female. Which one of you is which one is you? That one is fine. I think you we go to there. I think our population should be fine. Social group is fine. What about these two guys going at each other though? But I think they'll be fine. They have their own side of the lake, they have their own side of the lake. Anywho, I think we'll send that guy. Just send him back. We don't need that guy. We don't need too much. Your social group is fine. Sorry. We're fine. He's got one, those two, so that's fine. Okay. Most are pissed because that guy uploads just pissed because he another guy. So I was pushing too much with that, so I think these guys are just fine what they are. Timberwolves though. Why Timberwolves? Couldn't give me a freaking goddamn bird. These guys are getting along with each other. These guys are fine. These be too small for this though, for the panda. Besides the peacocks need in here. Yep. These two are gonna keep going at it. Because they're mostly male dominant, they're gonna keep on brawling. That I can't do much about that. What about you? What about you can get along with? $16, 22 more. Blech. Just to get along with 90. This will see as water and food foraging base. Once we add more, so we get a little cluster here. Okay. I think we'll put these two guys in together. I think it'll be fine. We'll send them here. These guys will get along fine. I think the Tauruses will get along here. Terrain is fine. Welfare's a bit rough because of very terrain. And it just needs more excitement. If we get along with these guys, we'll be fine. There you go. I mean, not much on sheltering. We just need to give ourselves another shelter here. Which is only these two fellas. You guys will be fine. Oh, you bitchy bitchin'. Or is it be bitchy because they're already lonely? I think you're just lonely. Are you a male? Where are you guys at? Those guys are gonna keep on brawling each other. They have each other. They're weird. Okay. People be going after my ass if I don't do shit about it. And I need one more. Where should she put the pandas? I mean, I guess I'll give these guys the 2 birds. Male, female. And we'll give them, that's female. We'll give this one. We'll send them to the red panda area. If I need a third one, probably a bit more people in there, but
I'm sure you know by now how to make your animals happy. So you'd best get that sorted before the inspector gets here.
actually need
Sorry,
one.
did I not mention there was an inspector coming? Oh dear. Looks like you've got everything humming away nicely. Well done.
What about the panda? Is the panda be busy with
Oh,
that?
well, it seems that with our new pandas and other species, we've attracted lots and lots of new guests. Let's work on making sure those guests are kept happy. That means making sure they have great views of the animals, lots of places to buy food and drink, and well, lots of places to get rid of food and drink. Toilets. You should think
that's
carefully about
probably-
where to put your guest facilities, though. For instance, don't put all of the food shops in the same place. Just look at how the guests are distributed around the park and put your facilities where they'll be needed the most. As long as you remember to pay attention to what the guests are thinking, you'll soon have a handle on what everyone wants.
Another one. But that's what I meant. Bathrooms. That's way cool. It's so fucking different then. Cause I don't want to get a freaking male. I mean, we could. I think it'd be fine, but I think it'd be better. But this is why we're pushing something. Is you inspected? Nice bastards. There we go. I think it's pushing too much though. Those guys are still going to each other regardless. We need a bit shorter grass with them. A lot of pandas complain. They need a bit more short grass and soil. Soil is fine with them, so actually I'm fine with getting rid of some of that for more short grass. Okay. I think I can manage this. Can manage these fuckers. Also want more plants and food though, but not that much plants here. Yeah. Need to increase their welfare. Reach over there and the 400 bucks. That might be too big. I mean, it's gonna wreck it. These pandas are getting away. I'm more just worried about the pandas. I mean, they're fine. They just need a bit more soil changement around here. And plants, mostly is plants, but that could be fine. You're sorry for more coverage, though. Jesus Christ. It's not that bad. We need more short grass. That's my priority here. I mean, less short grass, actually. That's fine for them. What about the panda? I mean, they're fine. Social, they just don't like being stressed out. And they're talking with they're doing, they're fine, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I think we need to get restrooms now. Okay, how far are we off? Place a chief, beef, cosmic, toilet, and 5 bins, 5 benches. I can do that. Chief, beef. Chief, beef. Not very effective, but does it? Not very effective.
the inspector's almost here.
I could
Now,
have probably
I
done that.
fully expect you to pass with flying colours. Anything less, and I might have to organise a little job exchange scheme for you with whoever's mucking out the pandas.
Yeah.
She's not gonna like how I'm busy wrecking the gators up. Hello. Nah, you're gonna deal with that later. I always went down. Just one off because of that fucking thing, because of the Chinese pegaloo. Funny. Funny. There you go. Even the zoo says like 1 star, almost had a 5-star out of that. Funny.
Goodness. You know, I really can't believe just how much you've come on during our time together. It goes to show, Bernie's got a keen eye for talent. Oh, and speaking of Bernie, he's not finished with you yet. He's got a new job for you in Canada. I get the feeling that you'd best pack a warm coat. Oh, listen, it's been wonderful getting to know you, and I'm sure we'll meet again. But in the meantime, good luck.
I've been told that there are smiles on the faces of
Animal
all of the
died.
guests. That's a real testament to the hard work you've put into this place. And if anything, I hear the animals look even happier. Although, in all honesty, it's hard to tell with the pandas. They're so, enigmatic. Now, I'm told that Lin-Lin's quite the character, though. Oh, she's really been a hit with the visitors. You could even say the business is bam-booming. And, fingers crossed, we might even be able to feature pandas at some of my other zoos, now that you've shown everyone we know how to cater for their welfare. I shouldn't be surprised, though. After all, you've become a very capable trainee zoo manager. I suspect there isn't a single task I could throw at you which you wouldn't handle with aplomb. That said, I think the next one's gonna be a bit of a curveball.
Onward. Another one down. Ugh. Time center has been unlocked. Oh boy. Guys. Let's take a look at Maple. Though it's getting late, I'm probably gonna end this here. I'm tired. I work third shift, so I mean, I have off this weekend, so I'll be fine. I'm just tired. We'll see. Oh. It was nice to come back onto this. It's nice.
After your sterling work in China, I got a bit of good news, better news situation for you. The good news is that I'm promoting you to apprentice zoo manager. The better news is you get to build a new zoo from scratch.
Oh boy.
That said, you will be on your own this time. No help from Nancy, although she wishes you luck. So, I suppose it's actually more of a good news, better news, and then slightly worse news situation. Either way, it's a chance for you to really prove yourself.
Fine.
For this zoo, I'll want to see a good few different habitat and exhibit species, and at least as many guests to look at them. I'd also like you to keep your staff nice and happy as much as you can. And obviously the same's true of the animals as well. Oh, and, let's see. Yeah, you should try to turn a good-sized profit to boot, so we can continue our vital work elsewhere. There. That should keep you going for a while. I'll check in with you later. Good luck.
So what they give me? They give me $80 to scratch rate losing because of mule stuff. At least achieve 150 zoo attractions. Actually tells me where to go, actually. Nice. So 5 more attractions, then we have zoo of at least 5 habitat species in the zoo, at least 2 exhibit species, 75 overall staff happiness, and 7 habitat species in the zoo, have for at least 4 exhibit species in the zoo. Have at least 4 soda to build freshly new ones added, so that's actually quite fine. Okay. Of course, we have a 5 loan. We have loans. No, we don't. Actually, no loans. That's a shocker. Okay. I said I put you on pause. Wasting more money by doing that. So what do we have for staff-wise? Only as our caretaker is that. So we gotta do keepers and all that. Yeah, I'm not gonna muck with work zones. That's a bitch of its own. So what have we have to build? We got taking to the end of that river, no? Right? No, yours. Maybe we do. I don't know. Okay. Mm-hmm. I see. Mm-hmm. So what do we have at the gate with us? Mm-hmm. They only give us chief beef and beans baked goods. We actually gotta do some research like crazy. But not really. Merchandising, we have loony balloons, we have a shell of the shops, okay. Wow, such a change from Planet Coaster 2, holy shit. Making sounds to deal with animals, But anyways, we're ending this here. I'm tired. It was nice playing this again. Hope you guys mean so. Yes, we got some certain schedule things I plan for the weekend. But overall, it was nice coming back onto the Plan Zoo. Yeah, it's nice trying these things over and over, which is not bad. Plan Zoo, I think I'm going to enjoy it. The sequel's going to be fun with aquariums. It's going to be very fun. But anyways, guys, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Follow, and I'll see you all next time.